And I was able to get a lot more done. It will remove the barrier of entry. I have taken notice that I stutter. A lot. My storytelling pace is slow, and my viewer retention rates are probably dropping due to the fact that I don't talk as fast as my thoughts form, or some variation of the sorts. So I took it upon myself to fix this, and you guys are going to be joining me on this 1-week journey of fixing my slow storytelling pacing. Before we start, let's take an unedited look at how my speaking is in my videos. I'm BTHOMAS. The whole point of my YouTube channel is to develop myself while I develop my audience, my personal brand, and ultimately I just want to provide value to. So as you guys could probably see, I talk really slowly. Now, I did a really good job at not using a lot of filler words in this, but I talked really slow. There were a lot of moments where I wasn't talking, and some of the words were really stretched. Those are all things that I plan to fix by the end of this week. So what's the plan to solve this issue of mine? Since I use ChatGPT for a lot of things, when it comes to skill development, script writing, and planning, I decided to also use it for this project. So I put a prompt into ChatGPT to give me a roadmap that I could use for 1 week to improve my speaking skills. The initial response was set to be much longer than 1 week, so I had asked it to condense it down to 1 week, so that way I could make this video in a reasonable amount of time for you guys. Now that we have a roadmap that I can follow for the week to work on my communication skills, what are the goals to have accomplished by the end of this week? I would like to speak with fewer pauses, maintain a steady pace without slowing down too much, use breath control to avoid running out of air, read aloud and talk more confidently, and to increase my speaking speed by around 10%. I spent the day finding the best course of action, becoming aware of my weaknesses, and establishing a baseline. I recorded myself doing an impromptu speech about my channel for about 2 minutes, then rewatched it to find the pain points in my speaking. After that, I decided to read aloud when I do my nightly reading. This is to help with word enunciation and speed. I followed what ChatGPT had said to do. I decided to do some diaphragmatic breathing exercises to help with better airflow while I speak, which should theoretically make me sound less airy. I then practiced reading paragraphs. However, I would pause intentionally at natural breaks and key points. Finally, I finished the day with a speed speaking drill. I chose a sentence to say slowly at first and progressively get faster while trying to maintain clarity. Continuing the momentum, I spent today working on increasing fluency and speed by doing 5 minutes of facial warm-ups. This exercise helps wake up the multitude of facial muscles and helps with facial expressions and verbal clarity. I then spent the next 5 minutes doing tongue twisters. The goal is to say the phrase quickly and as clearly as possible. The catch is that they are designed to make you stumble on your words. The trick to these is to start slow and clear and only speed up when you can consistently say each phrase clearly. Looking back on my performance of the tongue twisters, I found that my smooth flow and rhythm needs some work, along with my clarity and speed. I finished the day with 10 minutes of shadowing a speaker. Essentially, I find a short speech, and from that speech, I repeat a short section following the same rhythm, tone, and pace of the person talking. Day 4 is dedicated to improving speed and confidence with my speech. I started my vocal training with 5 minutes of an exercise called the World Economy Drill, where you take one sentence and try to say the same thing in fewer words. I continued my journey with 5 minutes of 1 minute storytelling, where you talk consistently about something for 1 minute without stopping. The trick when you get stuck is to replace filler words with pauses. To finish off my day, I will slightly alter my nightly reading aloud exercise. I am going to focus on emphasizing key words to make my speaking more human and more energetic. Day 5 is dedicated to fluidity and natural speech. I started today's exercises with 5 minutes of one breath sentences. This is where you take one deep breath and, within the same breath, say a whole sentence. This exercise is designed to help with breathless speaking. I followed this up with 10 minutes of improv speaking. This is self-explanatory. I pick a topic and create an improv speech about said topic. Each topic is to be talked about for 30 seconds, and this exercise is used to improve speech under pressure. I finished today's exercise with 5 minutes of paragraph reading, but there's a twist. I have to read each paragraph and then reread it, but try to say it 20% faster while remaining clear. I spent day 6 working on improving my practical video speech. To do that, I re-recorded the video that I had recorded on day 1 to see the progress that I've made. I then took notes on what happened to compare the differences between the video on day 1 and the video that I had just re-recorded. After comparing the two videos and taking notes, I spent 10 minutes working on mirror speech, where you talk up to yourself about a topic in the mirror while focusing on clarity, energy, and confidence. The idea of this drill is to work on confidence while speaking to someone else, keeping eye contact and body movement. According to ChatGPT, this day is spent reflecting on the week of progress that I had made. I listened to the day 1 video again and the day 6 video again. I went back to the notes that I had previously taken, took some more notes, and then reflected on what was good, what was bad, and what I could have done differently. At the end of the week, I feel as if I made a lot of progress. I liked how the tongue twisters allowed me to work on my clarity and speech pattern speed without putting in too much time into making sure I'm perfect. What I didn't like though was how some of the exercises were just really awkward. Some of the exercises didn't necessarily feel like they were actually going to help me get better at speaking. As I had said before, I feel as if I made a lot of progress, mainly because I am now aware of my speaking habits, but I feel like my clarity has gotten so much better. I've gotten way more comfortable speaking on camera, and then to top it off, I have gotten faster at talking and my words are no longer elongated. So that's all the goals that I wanted to hit by the end of the week. And with that all being said, I will see you guys in the next video.